Hello everyone, welcome to live session of Manu Law classes. In today's session, I will discuss with you one of the landmark judgment of Honorable Supreme Court, and the name of the case is Amitabha Das Gupta versus United Bank of India and others. This judgment is related to the rights of the locker holders in India. As all of you are aware that many peoples of the country avail the locker facility from the banks, but there are certain problems in the locker facilities. As observed by the Honorable Supreme Court in this particular case, regarding the present state of affairs about the locker facilities in India, Honorable Supreme Court has observed certain problems or certain lacunas in this particular locker system. What are the problems? There is the lack of uniformity in the rules and regulations regarding the management of locker system in India. Second problems what we people are facing in our country is that different banks are following the different rules of procedures and different laws for the purpose of maintaining the locker system in India. I will discuss this judgment in two parts with you people, and part 1 is important for all the citizens of India because most of the people in India avail the locker facility in the banks, but as a layman they don't have the knowledge of the law and they don't know that what are their rights regarding the locker system and what are the duties on the part of the bank imposed by the law of the land. So slides 2nd and 3rd of my PPT are relating to the general informations. These are very important for the general people who avail the locker facility, and rest of the slides are extremely important for the aspirants of UPSC, Judicial Services examinations and other law entrance examinations. So first of all, in my slide 2nd and 3rd, I will discuss with you the general state of affairs regarding the locker system in India. As observed by Honorable Supreme Court in this particular case, that there is lack of uniformity in the locker system in India. You may see on this slide that, and the second problems what we are facing, that the banking system does not pay attention towards the needs of the customers. One more aspect as discussed by Honorable Supreme Court in this case is that there is need to bring the uniform legislations so that the rights of the customers can be protected in India. Because as a general person, many people avail the locker facility in the bank, but they are not aware about their rights. Because of these problems, there are various rights under the Consumer Protection Act, under other laws are violated by the banks, and banks do not pay any heed towards the needs of the customers. So Honorable Supreme Court took the cognizance of this matter in this particular case and gave certain guidelines which I will discuss with you in the later part of my slides. Now if I come to the what are the duties of the bank as a service providers, most of you are aware about that earlier we were having the Consumer Protection Act 1986, which has been now replaced by a new Consumer Protection Act, that is Consumer Protection Act 2019. So all the customers who avails any facility or any service from other entity or other company or any other organizations have certain rights under the new law, or that is the new Consumer Protection Act. So what is the problem here, that these duties of the bank are not specified or not expressly mentioned in any of the clause of the Consumer Protection Act. So what we do in this case, we infer certain deficiency in the service, certain relationship like the relationship of the bailment. So I will discuss with you in these cases that what are the right to bailment, what are the deficiency of services as per this particular decisions regarding the management of locker system in India. Honorable Supreme Court in this case observed that it is the duty on the part of the bank to maintain due diligence regarding the maintenance of locker system in India, and it is also the duty on the part of the bank to protect the valuables or the contents which are kept by the customers in the bank from the robbery and the theft or any other offences of like natures. And bank cannot deny its liability merely on the grounds that it does not have the knowledge about the contents of the lockers. So in these two slides I have discussed one thing, I am repeating it again for you people, that there is a relationship between the bank and customer as is the relationship of organizations, and customer have the right against the bank like the deficiency of the services and the defect in the goods. What is the deficiency in the services? I will discuss with you right now in my subsequent slides. So now we come to the second part of this particular decisions, that is the Amitabh Das Gupta versus Union of India. In this part I will discuss the core legal issues which are very important from the UPSC aspirant and the aspirants of judicial services and other law entrance examinations in the country like CLAT or ILAT etc. In this case I will discuss with you certain constitutional and legal provisions involved. So Honorable Supreme Court, while observing or analyzing the various provisions, have emphasized upon these provisions which I will discuss with you. First of all, I would like to give you some brief introductions about Article 136 of Constitution of India. I am discussing these provisions in the beginning because these provisions have been discussed by the Honorable Supreme Court in this particular case, and if I will give you the basic informations regarding these provisions to you people right now, then it will be easily for you people to understand the case laws, the rationale behind this particular decision, etc. So as far as Article 136 of Constitution of India is concerned, this provisions makes the provisions regarding the special leave petitions. In the special leave petitions, we can approach directly to Honorable Supreme Court against the decision of any court or any tribunal, except the decision of Armed Forces Tribunal. It means हम Honorable Supreme Court में डायरेक्टली अप्रोच कर सकते हैं अगर हमारे किसी भी राइट का वायलेशंस होता है बाय वर्च्यू ऑफ द डिसीजंस ऑफ any court or any tribunal in India. But here we need to understand one thing very clearly, that is here we only have the right to approach Honorable Supreme Court, and Article 136 of the Constitution of India does not give us guarantee that our petitions or our case will be accepted by the Honorable Supreme Court. So we can just approach to Honorable Court, and if Honorable Court consider that our petitions has some substance and some valuable inputs or any substantial question of law have been involved in our petitions, then Honorable Supreme Court may accept our petitions. But if Honorable Supreme Court thinks that no, there is no urgency to accepting this particular petitions, then Honorable Supreme Court may reject our petitions. So Under Article 136, we only have the right to approach and we don't have the right to get our petitions admitted in the Honorable Supreme Court. Now, I come to the second provisions, that is the Section 148 of Indian Contract Act. Section 148 of Indian Contract Act deals with the definition of bailment. Now, I am discussing with you what is the meaning of the term bailment. The term bailment means when one person delivers his property to any other persons or entrust his property to other person for a particular purpose, then it is the duty on the part of that person to whom the property has been delivered to take due care with respect to that property and return back that property to the persons who has delivered that property to him, and according to the directions of that property to any other persons. With respect to this particular case, I am trying to make you understand this particular definition in Hindi as well. Suppose according to the bailment, I have given my property to you people. मैंने अपनी प्रॉपर्टी आप लोगों को दी किसी पर्टिकुलर पर्पज के लिए. सपोज दैट आपने रेंट पर मेरे से मेरी बाइक ली, मुझसे मेरी कार ली, ठीक है, फॉर ए पर्टिकुलर पर्पज. नाउ आई बिकम द बेलर बिकॉज आई हैव गिवन माई प्रॉपर्टी टू यू एंड यू पीपल बिकम द बेली. आप बेली बन गए. सो एज ए बेली it is the duty on your part that you will observe due care with respect to my property. आप मेरी प्रॉपर्टी का ड्यू केयर करेंगे और आप ड्यू केयर उतना ही करेंगे जितना कि आप अपनी प्रॉपर्टी का ड्यू केयर करते हैं. सो इफ वी रेफर टू दिस पर्टिकुलर केस, व्हेन कस्टमर गिव्स एनी वैल्यूएबल्स और एनी आर्टिकल्स और एनी प्रॉपर्टी टू द बैंक or deposit any valuable property in the lockers of the bank, then it becomes the duty on the part of bank to take due care with respect to that particular property. And if bank does not observe due care with respect to that property, then bank would be held liable for the breach of contract of bailment, because bailment is also a contract and it will also amount to deficiency of service on the part of the bank which has been provided under section 2 subclause 11 of Consumer Protection Act 2019. Now we come to deficiency in service. Deficiency in service means when a person takes service from other party or other organization or other company and that company has charged some amount from that persons, and if that particular service which is being provided by that particular company or organizations is not according to the set standards or is there is any defect in the services, then the customer can bring action against the company or organization for the purpose of for deficiency in service. And for deficiency in service, that person can claim compensation from the respondent or the company or organizations. There is also involved some part of the negligence in this particular case. Negligence here means if the customers have deposited their valuables in the bank locker and the bank does not observe the due care which is required from a prudent man or a prudent organizations, then it would amount to negligence on the part of the bank, and negligence is a civil wrong as per the law of tort in India. There are also certain legal provisions like section 45ZC2, section 45ZF of Banking Regulations Act. These provisions provides brief informations regarding the maintenance of the locker system in India. So I discussed with you some of the legal provisions which are involved in this particular case. Now we come to the facts of this case. अब हम इस केस के फैक्ट पे जाते हैं. In this case, the appellant's mother has taken a locker on rent from the respondent bank, that is the United Bank of India in this particular case. After some time, the appellant or the complainant become the joint holder of that particular locker. Means पहले locker appellant की mother ने लिया. After some time, the son also become the joint holder of the locker. So son also got the right to exercise control over the locker. What happens after some times? The one day bank, that is respondent in this particular case, had broken open the locker and this locker was allotted to the third customer. Means एक दिन बैंक ने क्या किया, बैंक ने उस लॉकर के लॉक को तोड़ दिया और उसके जो आर्टिकल्स थे दे वर रिमूव्ड बाय द बैंक. बैंक ने लॉकर के आर्टिकल्स को रिमूव कर दिया एंड द लॉकर वाज अलॉटेड टू थर्ड पर्सन, यानी कि किसी थर्ड पर्सन को ये अलॉट कर दिया गया. देन व्हेन दिस इंफॉर्मेशन वाज रीच्ड टू द एपिलेंट इन दिस केस, देन ही वेंट टू द बैंक. जब ये इंफॉर्मेशन एपिलेंट के पास पहुंची तो वो बैंक के पास पहुंचा एंड ही आस्क्ड द बैंक रिगार्डिंग द नॉन पेमेंट ऑफ द ड्यूज and regarding the contents of his locker. But one of the respondent, that is the respondent number 3 in this particular case, informed the appellant in this particular case or the complainant that there was some mistake on the part of the bank in breaking open the locker and there was no dues on the part of the appellant. But the contention on the part of appellant was that he had deposited 7 ornaments in the locker, but when the locker was broken by the bank, he only received 2 ornaments. So there was uncertainty regarding the 5 ornaments which were kept by the appellant in the locker as per the information given by the appellant. And appellant considered this as the deficiency in the service on the part of the bank. For deficiency of service, as I discussed with you under section 2 clause 11 of the Consumer Protection Act 2019. So complainant or appellant in this case approached to the District Consumer Forum and he filed a complaint there. The District Consumer Forum, in his complaint, the appellant demanded that either the bank should pay 7 ornaments to the appellant or the complainant, or bank should pay 3 lakh rupees in the lieu of the ornaments. Complainant or appellant also demanded 50,000 rupees as a compensation for the mental injury suffered by him. Dear candidates, I am telling you what about the mental injury here. Basically, injury is the violation of a legal right of a person, and injury can be committed in the body, mind, reputation or property of a person as per the section 44 of Indian Penal Code. So complainant not only demanded 3 lakh rupees for the value of the ornaments, but he also demanded 50,000 rupees for the mental injury or the injury suffered by that person. The District Consumer Forum, after going through the contentions of both the parties, came to the conclusion that respondent in this case, means the bank, is liable to pay 3 lakh rupees to the complainant and 50,000 rupees as a compensation amount to the complainant. So this was the decision of District Consumer Forum. Against the decision of District Consumer Forum, the bank approached to the State Consumer Forum, because you know that the appeal against the District Consumer Forum lies to the State Consumer Forum. When the bank approached to the State Consumer Forum, what the State Consumer Forum said, State Consumer Forum held that bank is liable to pay 30,000 rupees as a compensation amount to the complainant, and as far as the contents of the locker is concerned, the State Consumer Forum held that this question will only be decided by the Honorable Court, because whether the complainant has kept 7 ornaments or not, this fact was only in the knowledge of the complainant, and this fact was not in the knowledge of the bank. So bank denied this liability. So whether complainant has kept 7 ornaments or not, the State Consumer Forum held that it requires the help of the elaborate provisions of Indian Evidence Act, which this kind of matters cannot be decided by the Consumer Protection Act. So State Consumer Forum guided both the parties that this fact will only be decided by the Honorable Court. Now the appeal went to against the decision of State Consumer Forum in the National Consumer Forum, and National Consumer Forum confirmed the decision of State Consumer Forum. Means whatever was held by the State Consumer Forum, that was reiterated by the National Consumer Forum. This is the 30,000 amount. Now the matter went to Honorable Supreme Court under Article 136, as I discussed with you right now in the special leave petitions, and there were 4 legal issues involved in this particular case as per the Honorable Supreme Court. I will discuss with you people all the legal issues one by one. The first legal issue is that whether a bank owes a duty of care to the locker holder under the law of bailment or any other law with respect to the contents of locker. Means whether there is a relationship between the bank and the customer is of relationship like the bailment or not, or if this kind of relationship fall under any other law or not. Second issue was that whether this kind of matter means the adjudication regarding the contents of a locker can be decided by this Honorable Consumer Forum or not. Means क्या कंज्यूमर फोरम इस तरह के क्वेश्चन को डिसाइड कर सकते हैं कि किसी पर्सन के लॉकर में कितने वैल्यूबल्स थे या कितना अमाउंट था या कोई अदर वैल्यूबल सिक्योरिटी थी या नहीं थी. थर्ड इशू वाज दैट whether banks owes any independent duty apart from the duty of Consumer Protection Act, apart from the duty which have been provided under the Consumer Protection Act or any other law, or apart from the duty of the bailment between the bank and its customer. And the fourth legal issue was that whether the compensation can be avoided in such cases when the bank does not observe its due diligence apart from the violations of the contract of bailment. So I will discuss first of all with the contention of both the parties, then I will discuss the decision of the Honorable Court and what was the ratio and what was the logic of Honorable Supreme Court behind this particular decisions. First of all, I am discussing with you people the contentions of the appellant. Appellant in this case, who was the complainant in the district forum or state consumer forum, now he become the appellant because he went to appeal before the Honorable Supreme Court. In this case, appellant contended that since the appellant has deposited 7 ornaments in the bank and now he only received 5 ornaments, now he only received only 2 ornaments, so where the 5 ornaments have gone? He entrusted his property as per the definition of bailment to the bank, and bank did not observe the due care which it was supposed to observe. So because of the negligence of the bank, he lost his 5 ornaments. So as per the contention of the petitioner, he is entitled to take compensation from the bank. As far as the contention of the respondent in this particular case is concerned, respondent bank contended that since the fact of contents of the locker was not in the knowledge of the bank, so bank does not owe any duty from the customer, or that is the appellant in this case. बैंक ने ये कहा कि हमको इस बात की कोई नॉलेज नहीं थी, कोई जानकारी नहीं थी कि एपिलेंट ने अपने लॉकर में कितने ऑर्नामेंट्स रखे हैं, और अगर ये हमको नॉलेज नहीं थी तो देयर में बी पॉसिबिलिटी दैट एपिलेंट इज स्पीकिंग लाई। संभावना है कि एपिलेंट इस पर्टिकुलर केस में झूठ बोल रहा है। अगर एपिलेंट ने 7 ऑर्नामेंट्स रखे थे तो देन दिस फैक्ट आल्सो मस्ट हैव बीन in the knowledge of the bank or any of the officials of the concerned officials of the bank. So when the bank does not have the knowledge about the contents of the locker, so it does not owe any duty from the appellant in this particular case. Now I come to the decision of this particular decision of Honorable Court in this particular case. Honorable Supreme Court held that bank can only be held liable for the bailment or for the violations of the bailment if the contents of the locker were known to both the parties. Honorable Supreme Court ने कहा कि बैंक को बेलमेंट के लिए हम तभी लायबल कर सकते हैं तब लॉकर के कंटेंट्स की जानकारी अगर दोनों पार्टी को थी। मीन्स अगर बैंक को भी इस बात का पता होता कि दैट एपिलेंट हैज केप्ट 7 ऑर्नामेंट्स इन द बैंक एंड दिस फैक्ट वाज आल्सो नोन इन द नॉलेज ऑफ द बैंक, देन बैंक कुड हैव बीन हेल्ड लायबल फॉर द वायलेशंस ऑफ द breach of contract of bailment under section 148 of the Indian Contract Act. Since in this particular case there is no proof from the appellant that the number of ornaments was also known to the bank, so bank cannot be held liable for the liability of bailment or for the violations of the contract of bailment. But Honorable Supreme Court held that if the contents of the locker are not known to the bank, then it does not means there is no duty on the part of the bank. Means अगर लॉकर के कंटेंट्स की जानकारी बैंक को नहीं है तो इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि बैंक की कोई भी लायबिलिटी नहीं है। ऑनरेबल सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने कहा कि देयर इज another duty or a general duty of due diligence on the part of bank. बैंक के पार्ट पर बेलमेंट के अलावा भी एक जनरल ड्यूटी होती है और वो ड्यूटी क्या होती है? दैट इज द ड्यूटी ऑफ द ड्यू डिलिजेंस। मीन्स बैंक को एक ड्यू डिलिजेंस ऑब्जर्व करना होता है और अगर बैंक अपने उस ड्यू डिलिजेंस के ऑब्जर्वेशन में फेल होता है या कहीं पर कोई लैग पाई जाती है, कोई कमी पाई जाती है, देन द bank would be held liable. So in this particular case, Honorable Supreme Court held that since there is no relationship of bailment between the bank and the appellant, but there is a relationship of customer and the company, and for the violations of that duty, that means the general duty of due diligence, the bank is liable to pay the compensations to the appellant. Honorable Supreme Court issued certain guidelines in this particular case, which these are foreign numbers. I have just included the important ones. Okay, the first guidelines is that bank is bound to keep a register for the maintenance of the locker. Bank has to keep the record that who comes to open the locker, when comes, so this data has to be maintained by the bank. And bank is also supposed to update the register when he allot the one locker to another locker. And this honorable court also held that when bank allot one locker to another customer, then bank must give this opportunity to the earlier customer to find out or to check its contents of the locker. So Honorable Supreme Court also directed in this case to the RBI, that is the Reserve Bank of India, कि आप लोग इस पे एक स्ट्रिक्ट लॉ बनाएं, एक यूनिफॉर्म लॉ बनाएं, ताकि जो बैंकिंग सिस्टम में लोकर से संबंधित जो लैकुनाज हैं, डेफिशिएंसी ऑफ द रूल्स एंड रेगुलेशंस है, उसको आप कंप्लाई करें. और ऑनरेबल सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने इसमें 6 मंथ का टाइम दिया. और ऑनरेबल सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने ये कहा कि जब तक आप ये गाइडलाइंस नहीं बनाते हैं, मींस जब तक आरबीआई एक यूनिफॉर्म गाइडलाइंस नहीं बनाती है लॉकर सिस्टम को मेंटेन करने के लिए, तब तक द गाइडलाइन इशूड बाय ऑनरेबल सुप्रीम कोर्ट in this particular case shall have the binding effect, as you all are aware by virtue of Article 141 of the Constitution of India. Article 141 of Constitution of India provides that every decision of the Honorable Supreme Court is the laws of the land. Means सुप्रीम कोर्ट का कोई भी डिसीजन देश का कानून होता है और उसकी वही फोर्स होती है, वही एप्लीकेबिलिटी होती है जो कि लॉ मेड बाय द पार्लियामेंट की होती है. तो जब तक आरबीआई इस पर्टिकुलर केस पर गाइडलाइंस, यूनिफॉर्म गाइडलाइंस नहीं बनाती, यूनिफॉर्म रूल्स रेगुलेशन नहीं लाती, तब तक ऑनरेबल सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने इस केस में जो भी गाइडलाइंस दी हैं वो बाइंडिंग इफेक्ट रखेंगी और उनकी पावर वही होगी जो एक लॉ की पावर होती है. सो डियर कैंडिडेट्स, दैट्स ऑल फॉर टुडे. आई विल कम अगेन विद द नेक्स्ट latest judgment of Honorable Supreme Court. Till then, goodbye. Thank you very much for being with us.